get to have their own workouts and stuff during the summer, kind of preparing for this. How do you feel like you've seen any of that, or what have you seen from them that gives you hope coming into this fall?
Doug, who's been here the whole time Wet has, he does a phenomenal job in the weight room. Talked about how strong this group has been, how hard they've worked, and really likes where they're at. So that feedback from him, those comments are really promising, that we got a really good group, they're working hard, they're bought in, and we got good leadership.
Spring ball is about, installing the offense. What is the next phase in fall camp in terms of your offense and getting it integrated with the guys?
You obviously need to be ready for all the situations that are going to be coming up, and it's really identifying who are the trustworthy guys, the playmaker guys. When you put those 11 guys together, all doing their different roles, who can you depend on and count on? So it's a matter of finding consistency, who's showing up every day, consistently getting their job done. So we know we can count on them to put them out there for the game. So that's what you're trying to develop, that and tease that out of who to count on when you put them out there.
The last 6 months, Devin's really taken some time to establish his foothold and leadership. I guess heading into fall camp as the offensive coordinator, just what are you looking for him to continue to make steps in establishing himself in the offense and so forth?
Yeah, just continuing to lead, both first by example, through his play, being that real consistent playmaker, doing the right things, and then being a good teammate, which means if you see something, you're not their friend, you're their teammate. Whether that's positively reinforcing what they're doing, or whether that's asking them to live up to a different standard. And so Dev shows up every day and works hard, and he leads by example. And so just continue to do that, and bring everybody else along and develop the chemistry with all those skill guys.
When it comes to QB2 spot, what are you looking for, and how quickly do you want to try to establish that?
Yeah, I mean, you're not too far away now from you start game planning UCLA and in the seasons here. And so we have 2 scrimmages along the way, and by the end of that second scrimmage, you would really like to have an idea, a plan of here's what we're doing. And same thing, it's all about, man, who can you trust, who can you depend on, who's being consistent in that role. When their number's called, their opportunity comes up, who's going to be ready to take that on.
Tobias Merriweather and Larry Simmons were the 2 receivers that you brought in during the spring portal. How important are these next few weeks in getting them up to speed with the offense and their chemistry with Dampier?
Oh, it's really important to see what they can bring to this team to help this offense score points to win games. And so them, Bryce Duke, running back, has experiences in. So yeah, it's really these next 2 weeks, you're not making huge judgments right away, because it's going to take a little time to settle in and get their rhythm and get going. But once you kind of see that thing turn, now you're looking at that feedback of how are they contributing, what can we count on them for, and to know how we can use them in the offense.
What led to your interest in your pursuit of them? What qualities do they possess that you think translates here?
We're looking for guys who can consistently win, get open, catch the ball. The more they can stretch the field or be versatile, play both outside and inside, is great. But it's all about who can consistently win, make plays, catch the ball to help move the chains and score points.
Kyle talked about this offense will be pretty similar to what you ran at New Mexico. How similar to that, and kind of what are you trying to do that's maybe different, or are you trying to do anything different?
We're still in that process of that playing out. For instance, when we started New Mexico last year, we had 5-6 skilled receivers that we thought were going to be some of our better players. And as we headed in that first game, that was kind of the trajectory we were on. Well, as we got early in the season, some of those guys were struggling to consistently make plays, and our running backs were way rising up in what they were doing, and so that thing shifted, in that course, and there became 2 receivers and a tight end that we really relied on, and then it was all these running back guys, and so the offense kind of molded more that direction. So, with the Devon and the O-line, that's the most predictable right now. It's the other spots that are more what direction is this going to take with the dependable playmaker, guys you trust, and kind of the offense molding, shifting that direction.
For fans that haven't seen it yet, how would you kind of describe your offensive philosophy?
And we really just want to put the right guys in the right places to make plays. We want to adapt to what our strengths are and play to those strengths. Real like eye test. We're gonna go not at a fast tempo, but we're going no huddle. We're moving guys around. Kind of spread. The QB reads and RPOs are in there. But year to year, that thing always shifts to who's your personnel and what are their strengths. And some years that's more passing, some years that's more running. So, that thing will vary because we want to play to our strengths.
When you have a star receiver or a star running back, it's pretty easy to feature them in the offense. It seems like you've got 2-star offensive tackles. How do you go about featuring your offensive line and their strengths as players?
Yeah, we look at the quarterback first and we look at the O-line second, and what they can do. And the O-line's obviously a strength, specifically with the tackles. Man, they're athletic. So you can do things with your tackles where you utilize that athleticism that you may not do with other guys. So, getting them out on the edges and screens to block in space, having them pull in the run game, to add to your run scheme. So using their athleticism to block the second level, to block on the perimeter, is something you want to take advantage of.
You guys moved Otto Tia to tight end towards the tail end of spring. What kind of led to that change, and what are you looking for him to do, as fall camp gets ready to open?
He's kind of this hybrid guy that has good size, and he's 220, and he's big, strong receiver. So we know the flexed out in the slot outside stuff is going to be natural for him. So we thought, let's move him to the tight end room so we can develop more of those things that he's not as experienced at. Knowing from that room, we can always flex him out and do stuff. But to have him in the outside receiver room and then try to move him inside to do things, a little different. So that was just the kind of have him in that room as a home base to expand his versatility and how he can help.
In the spring, you said Wayshawn was limited. I guess where is his health at, and do you expect him to be full go for?
Yeah, he's healthy. He's had a really good summer and ready to go. Yeah.
How much does Nate Johnson change this offense for you?
Well, that's going to be part of this discovery of how consistent playmaking. What is he bringing at a high level? Because he definitely has, some juice, speed, and can do unique things. So we definitely want to utilize that, take advantage of it, and discover, how much and what ways and all of those things that we can count on at a high level, more than just kind of a gimmicky thing here or there.
Last season, Devin ran a lot and also passed a lot. Is there a development that you're looking for, maybe to have him be more pass first or maybe more run first? Walk me through your thinking on that.
He'll, just him individually, he'll continue to progress and develop and is really capable. So this is not a thing where we were running him more because he was not capable as a passer. It was just, and he'll continue to develop that way. It was really just the pieces around him and what we could do led to him being more involved in the run game. Certain times in the season, we had some critical injuries, and so he became, if it's 4th and 2, who do you trust most to get this thing? And with a couple, there's a spot where in the car he was out with a high ankle sprain. And a couple of those games, you absolutely knew Devin would get you the first, so you called his number a little more. So it's just kind of dictated by, the matchup, health, all those things.
He talked a lot about just improving his decision making, now that he's been here for 6 months. Have you seen any improvements in that and just turnover ratio or just how he's reading the offense?
It's hard to put a total thing on that right now because spring was so new with all the skill guys get on the same page.
Right.
So we'll kind of see where it picks up, in fall camp, but, no, that's what it's all about, right? It's all about being a dynamic player, being a playmaker, and protecting the ball, because that dictates winning at such a high rate. So just going forward that way.
You talked about what Larry and Tobias brings to the wide receiver room. What does Bryce bring to this running back room now that he's joined?
Based off the film, it'd be great to see him and get him, but based off the film, he brings an element catching the ball out of the backfield. He's proven where he's done that in the past. And then his running skill set, he can, he has some juice, so he can pretty good quickness and spring it. So being able to put him in situations to use, I wouldn't say he's quite half running back, half slot receiver, but he has a little more of that receiving quality than the typical running back does. And so being able to see what he can do with those skill sets. So, all right, appreciate it, guys.